My name is Kitty, and I'm going to talk about littles today because I'm a little, and I'm not the type of little that's normally a little, because normally when you see little, you don't think they do this, but this is what I do for me because I like it. And I have other reasons, but I don't have to say them. And Anna is here to help me to make sure that everything I'm saying is safe, and Anna is going to edit it just in case I say things that aren't safe, because sometimes I say things and I don't know that they're bad and that I can't say them. And so basically, first of all, what's DID? Because that's what we're talking about today, is littles and DID and other dissociative disorders with alters. So basically, a dissociative disorder with alters is going to be DID or OSDD1A and B. And we're only talking about traumagenic systems because that's our experience. The one thing I don't like about makeup is I want to itch my face. But yes, so with DID, it means that basically when there's trauma, your brain separates itself from the trauma, and so there's multiple different personalities that can do different things. And alters can be any age, and the alters who stay child are called littles, and that's what they call in the community. I don't like that term because of the BDSM term, and it reminds me of that, and I don't like it, so I want to say system kids because it makes me more comfortable. Because I don't like that they're the same word, because it's not the same thing. And so basically, since all alters come from trauma, this includes littles. This means that littles can have different trauma responses, and the reason that they're little is because something that happened that the age is significant for a reason. So for like maybe when you're all grown up, something happens and it makes you feel really small and out of control. And so a child alter was split off because you felt like you were little in that, and you felt like belittled, so then your brain can manifest it. Or another way that can happen is when the body is a certain age, the little splits off, and then something happens at that age that is significant to the alter, so they don't move past that age. And so sometimes for littles, getting older is part of healing, and so some littles will age, but other littles will stay little because they're supposed to be in. It's weird, as Anna gets farther away, I can hear me more. But she's not leaving. I forget what I was saying because I got distracted by listening to me because I don't normally hear me talk. Because normally I let other alters talk. But so basically, littles, I don't like that word. I don't like that I keep saying it. System kids are not the same as regular kids. And that's something that is said in the community all the time, and it makes us so mad because yes, there are some littles that are like made to preserve the childhood and be like the embodiment of childhood innocence. And sure, those littles can exist in some systems. And we do have some littles like that are, when they're in the body, they need an adult to watch them, they need help, and they can't do things, and they get scared easily, and they are like a child, and that can happen because of various reasons. But that's not how all littles are. And though, yes, again, that is something that is possible for littles to be similar to children, it's going to vary depending on the system and depending on the little within the system, whether you need to treat them like a little child or like how they want to be treated. Is really what it is, because I am a little, but I'm also a sexual protector. And so I've been through some things, and I've been through some grown-up experiences, and my body is grown up, and so I know a lot about a lot of grown-up things. And just because my age is technically 7 doesn't mean that I can't understand things beyond that, because I can, and I just am still that age because of reasons that I'm not gonna say. But it's trauma, and so basically I am a child, and there are things that like I think about or that I do that maybe might be childlike. Like we have like I really would, you hear how I talk, and like I can't really mask how I talk very well when I'm alone in the body. But to be lucky, we're not really alone in the body most of the time. So I don't think there are very few times I ever been alone in the body, and it's never been good. And so I don't really like to be here. But one thing that I need to learn, according to Anna, is that to have good experiences, because things aren't all bad in this world. And so I'm here because I want to try to do good things and have good things happen. And they said that they're going to keep the comment section, so I don't see anything except for if it's good, then they'll tell me, because they want to make sure that it's a good experience. So some littles have very big roles in systems and can do very big things. Like there are some littles who can drive. I don't think that I can drive, but I think that we have a little who can drive. There's some littles whose names we don't say, but that's just because we have some alters whose names we don't say, and it's for the same reason that those alters. Just because they're a little is not the reason. If they're vulnerable alter, then they won't say their name. And for me, we have, I think, numerous alters named Kitty, so it's not really that hard to tell my name. I have things to say, I just keep thinking. I should maybe write stuff down first, but I didn't. But that's okay. I'm pretty. I like how I look in my makeup. And okay, so I am trying to learn all healthy like safe, good experiences, since most of my life has not been good. And so that's what everyone in our system has to learn, and that's including littles. And for littles, always being little and trying to go back to forgetting and acting like not knowing about things that you do know about and that you do think about all the time is hard. And so it can be difficult to get, like, if people are always gonna treat you like you're little, because like, so if I am watching a TV show that's like not a kid show, and then I'm like already relating to characters and watching it and appreciating it because we watched all the kids shows already, or I already did that for years and years and years and years and years. And even if I still am stuck at this age, I can like things that are bigger because I have learned about movies and I learned about TV because of going to classes and being co-con for theater and for things. And so watching kids stuff can be really boring because a lot of times there's errors in it because they think that no one's gonna care because no one is critically watching it. But that's what I want to do, and so I want to watch things more. And if they all of a sudden tell me that I can't watch my show, then we're stuck watching baby shows that the adults co-con don't want to watch and that I don't want to watch either, and now we're all just annoyed because we're watching something that nobody wants to watch. And sometimes we do go back and watch those cartoons anyways, even some adults do, because it's fun to watch Stone. But there's also just some good cartoons, like we're watching Foster's House for Imaginary Friends. I think that one's good. I think it's really actually good. But littles are just an age range for alter. They can be just as different as any other alter and have just as many problems. And one problem, though, that I want to talk about, because I feel like there's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable talking about it, because it's very obvious why. Because it comes from trauma, and it's from really bad trauma that no one really wants to talk about. And even the fact that me now opening up and saying this is who I am and what my role is, that's saying a lot about my system, and that's something that we're aware of. But we don't worry so much about disclosing broad details because I'm not giving any specific triggers or anything. So, hi kitty. He's my friend. I got distracted because my friend came to say hi. He's a good boy. Okay, but this is something I do want to talk about. So, sexual littles is something that happens, and that's my role. And I'm actually glad that my cat is here for this because I get nervous talking about it open. So basically, of course you leave after I say that. So there are littles who have experienced unconsensual things. And the part of the way that things were not consensual is because of the age, obviously. In circumstances. And part of healing for some littles can be learning how to have a healthy relationship with sex. And so for always to start, and sometimes not going any further depending on the situation, littles should try to learn how to explore that themselves, and how you can feel good yourself and have that relationship with yourself and not have anyone involved to be manipulating it. And then if you're in a situation where it's full and 100% safe, it can be beneficial for littles to learn how to have a healthy, safe, consensual sexual relationship. And the way in our system we found is only ever for if talking to another little in a partner system, because that's part of the safe relationship, is another little who also understands how to be safe and consensual, and make sure that everyone understands to say when to say no and to listen and all those things. And you have to make sure that you're understanding safe sex and consent in all practices and do everything safely. But it's not bad for littles to explore their sexuality, because part of trauma can also be repressing sexual exploration. And that can lead to more trauma if you repress sexual exploration. And it's not something that is because it's a fetish. And this isn't something, me saying this doesn't mean that I want any grown-ups to be messaging my system asking to talk to littles, because that's not all what the situation is. And our littles have their own relationships that they explore with, are monitored closely by adults to be sure that things are safe. And oftentimes we'll have caretakers, or sometimes their parents will check in with them and be making sure that everything is okay, because it's really easy for littles to be taken advantage of, because a lot of littles do think very childlike, which means that people sometimes, not always, but a lot of times will be more likely to be more trusting and fall for manipulation tactics and things. I don't think I would, because I'm pretty smart, but I know that there's some littles in my system that would. But basically, just what I'm saying is every system is different, and just because a lot of systems feel more comfortable with their littles being treated that way doesn't mean that it's what's best for every system. And so any alter who feels who has experienced something repeatedly that was unhealthy, they need to learn how to be exposed to things in a healthy way and not have the unhealthy pattern. And that means that sometimes littles are going to be interested in sex, and littles are going to want to have sex, and that should be something that is okay and encouraged in a healthy manner in systems, because otherwise you can add more guilt and shame around sex, and that is counterproductive for healing. Oh, one other thing that I want to talk about is that littles can sometimes have like big roles in systems. Like, we have little alters who are gatekeepers in some contexts of like certain parts of our inner world, because the system overview that they gave wasn't finished. And that keeps happening every time we're like, okay, we did it, we figured it out, we're gonna do one video to talk about all of it. It wasn't done. And we talked about there were some people that chose to be left out, but even then, like, my whole subsystem we didn't know about, because I think that we was dormant. But so there's a lot to my subsystem that has lots of subsystems, and my subsystem has some child alters that are gatekeepers. And so little alters can do big things too. And I think the reason I'm saying little, even though I don't like it, is just because it's faster. I just wish there was another easier word, because cis kids is hard for me to say. Well, anyways, thank you for watching this video. I don't know. I'm nervous because I'm worried that people are going to be mean to me. Anna's telling me I'm getting OCD thoughts about systems cringe. So, bye-bye OCD bad. Oh, well, no, I say that's just OCD and remove myself from it. I don't just say it's bad. Okay. This is why Anna's co-con, because Anna has to tell me how to deal with things, because otherwise I would just smack myself in the head until the thoughts go by. And then that's not what we're supposed to do, so. Well, thank you for watching this, and please, if you liked the video, please like it, and I will answer nice comments, because I like nice comments.